When I have excess kefir grains, like I do now, I freeze them. Now, whenever you freeze kefir grains, they want to shrink. So if you want to know how much kefir grains you're actually freezing, measure them out ahead of time. So here is a half a tablespoon of kefir grains. Simply put it into an ice cube tray, cover with milk. This is raw milk. And there you go. When it freezes like these, and you pop them out and you're ready to use them, you know that 1 cube equals a half a tablespoon of kefir grains. And when they're all frozen, you can just pop them out, put them in a freezer bag and label them. And there you go. They're already pre-measured and ready to share with people or ready for you to go ahead and reconstitute. I'm going to show you a couple other ways that I used to freeze kefir grains, but this method that I've shown in the video is by far the best one that I have come up with. It is so easy, it's accurate, it's just the easiest thing. All right, but let me go ahead and just show you. Here's the kefir grains, the frozen kefir grains. They're kind of tacky, you know, because milk, it's a fat. Anyway, and you just pop them out like you would if they were ice cubes. And anyway, you can see this is what they look like. And you can store them in a glass jar that's labeled or in a freezer bag that you just label it. So mine are kefir grains. 1 cube equals 1/2 tablespoon of grains that was stored in raw cow's milk. Okay, but here's a couple other ways. So the very first way that I had stored kefir grains was like this. Okay, and these are almost a year old. But I had just taken kefir grains and I had dried them on a paper towel, and not fully dried, just like maybe a couple hours. I had just dried them on a paper towel, and then, once they were more dry, I just put them dry in this jar, just like this, and I just kept adding to it. Okay, well, because I kept adding to it, I don't really know how many is in here, because you can see, they will kind of break, okay? And I've heard that kefir grains kind of shrink when they freeze. So I really don't know how many is in here. So if I wanted to do an accurate measurement, I wouldn't really know, which is why this way is the best. The second way that I tried saving kefir grains was in powdered milk. And this is from May of 2025. And I did the same thing. I would measure out my kefir grains. I had put a thin layer of powdered milk in here, and I'd measure out my kefir grains and add them in and kind of toss and coat it, and then I just kept adding to it and built it up like this. Well, the problem with this is the same thing. I don't know how many's in here, and it's just a solid chunk, and they kind of blend in pretty well with the powdered milk, so I have no idea how many's in here. I think it was actually the second way. It was between these two methods. There was a second way that I tried, and I can't show you because I've already used it and it's been very successful, which is why I started doing it this way. But the second way that I had actually tried it was I took just a little 1/4 pint jar. I put in a couple tablespoons of kefir grains, filled the jar with the raw milk, and froze it. By the way, these are all of my methods have been in the freezer. But I had taken a 1/4 pint jar, filled it with 2 tablespoons of kefir grains, covered it with milk, labeled it, and stuck it in the freezer. And then about 3 or 4 months later, I got it out, reactivated it, which it reactivated beautifully, perfectly. And I think it just took like 2 feedings in a pint jar, and it was ready to go. Anyhow, so that worked so beautifully, so that's when I started doing this method. All right, but those are the other methods that I have tried. Now, I have not tried rehydrating these 2 methods, so I can't say with any certainty how they would work, but the ones in the raw milk, frozen, It worked beautifully.